Hello there, beautiful people. I am Abhinav Sharma from Pragyan Academy Bilaspur, and I hope you all are doing well. I am here again with yet another video in our Chhattisgarh General Studies lecture series. Today, we are going to deal with geographical location and extent of Chhattisgarh. Now, what I will do, I will split this video into two parts. First part will contain all the basic things for the beginners, those students who are starting their preparation from scratch and don't know anything about the latitudes, longitudes, the equator, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, then what is Greenwich Mean Time, or popularly known as Prime Meridian, and also what is International Dateline. If you don't understand any of these topics, then you can go on with this video. But if you are well versed or thorough with these topics, you can skip this video and watch the next one, right? So let's start. See, let's first of all understand what is the position of Earth from the Sun. We know that there is a solar system. What is a solar system? Solar system is a gravitationally bound system of stars, star and objects revolving around it. Like there can be planets, there can be the satellites of the planets, there can be asteroids, there can be comets, etc. Anything which is revolving around a star under the influence of gravitational pull of that star. In our case, our star is Sun, and all the 8 planets in our solar system are revolving around the Sun under the influence of Sun, under the influence of gravitational pull of Sun, right? So Earth is the third planet from the Sun, and it revolves around an elliptical orbit around the Sun. This is an elliptical orbit, and the Earth revolves around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. Now, most of the students will wonder that what is the relevance of studying the orbit of Earth in geographical location and extent of Chhattisgarh. So, I will clarify. See, when I am going to tell you the tilt of Earth, that is connected with the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. We all know that Earth's rotational axis is 23.5 degree tilt, and that is the reason why Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn are placed on 23.5 degree north and 23.5 degree south. So I think this topic has to be dealt with in detail so as to provide you a better understanding of Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn's placement in our Earth, right? So uh, this is the orbit of Earth, and if we place this orbit in a flat plane, right? If we place this circular orbit in a flat plane, then this plane will be called as orbital plane. I will make a short diagram for it. Small diagram for this one. Let us say this is a plane, and if we pick the orbit up and place it in this plane, then this will be called as orbital plane. And now I am telling you this because most of the students think that the 23.5 degree tilt of Earth is from Greenwich Mean Time. Most of the students whom I have taught in my class, they have this misconception in particular, that the tilt of Earth is calculated from Greenwich Mean Time. So I must clarify that the tilt of Earth is not from Greenwich Mean Time, but it is from rotational axis of Earth. So I'll explain it here. This is the orbital plane of Earth, and if we draw a perpendicular from this, this is the perpendicular from the orbital plane of Earth, right? Now we have this is 90 degree and this is orbital plane and perpendicular. So the Earth's rotational axis, the axis on which the Earth is rotating, is 23.5 degree tilt from this perpendicular. This angle is 23.5 degree. My bad, this is 23.5 degree. I hope this tilt is clear. So what our Earth looks like while rotating, it looks like this. It rotates in this direction, right? This is the axial tilt which I am talking about. This is 23.5 degree. So now when we have understood this thing, it will be very much easier to understand the placement of Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn along with the Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle, right? Within few minutes I'm going to explain all these concepts. Now moving on to the shape of Earth. So our Earth is not a complete sphere. First of all, not a sphere, but it is an oblate spheroid, or we also call it as geoid. Now why it is called as oblate spheroid? Because the Earth is slightly more bulged outwards on the equator and it is flattened from poles, flattened at both the poles, the North Pole and South Pole, and it is more bulged outwards towards the equator. So if we see the distance from the center of Earth to the North Pole or South Pole, it will be 6357 kilometers. But when we look at the distance of equator from the center, it is 6378 kilometers. Right? This distance is 6378 kilometers and this distance is 6357 kilometers. So you can see the difference, and that is why we say that it is more bulged outwards towards the equator and it is flattened from poles. I hope you understood the shape of Earth. Now it is also evident from a photo captured by a Japanese satellite, right? A Japanese satellite took a photo of our Earth. This satellite was named as Himawari, and there was an onboard camera of 121 megapixels. It took a photograph of our Earth, and now we are looking at the evidence of the shape which we call as geoid. We are looking at the evidence. This evidence shows that this image, the dimension of the image was 10906 megapixels. My bad, 10906 pixels, and this was The dimension over here was 10869 pixel, right? So uh, looking at the dimension of the image, we can see that the horizontal part is 10906 pixels, and the vertical part of the image, or the height of the image, this is the width 10906 and this is the height 10869 pixels, right? So with all these evidences, we can conclude that our earth is not a sphere, but it is of a shape of oblate spheroid, or we can also say it as geoid, right? Now moving on to the next topic. Next topic is parallels of latitude. Now moving on, we will look at parallels of latitude. Now what are parallels of latitude? We should first know what is equator. To understand what are latitudes, we should understand what is equator. So if we locate the circumference of this sphere from the center, so a line joining the center of earth to the circumference of earth, the angle formed is 0 degree. So this is called as 0 degree line. What if we calculate the angle from the center of the earth to the circumference of the sphere, circumference of the earth? So it will be 0 degree, and north pole and south pole are placed at 90 degrees, right? So this the imaginary line on exactly on the circumference of the earth is called as equator, and which is located at 0 degree from the center, so we call it 0 degree equator. Now all the concentric circles, like suppose if we look at the aerial view from the top, then we can imagine it as the largest circle will be the circumference of earth, and all the concentric circles drawn till the north pole and till the south pole are called as parallels of latitude. So if we look at from the top, it will look something like this. So all these concentric circles parallel to the equator are called as parallels of latitude. All the parallel lines, or we can also say concentric circles, to equator is called as parallels of latitude. Now what is the significance of latitude? Now we have seen the definition. Before that, we will see what is the number of lines of latitude. What is the number of lines of latitude? So we know that from starting from 0 degree, we have 90 degrees, and every degree has a line, right? There will be a line at 1 degree, then there will be a line at 2 degree, 3 degree, and until 90 degrees. So there will be a total of 90 lines on the north of equator, and there will be a total of 90 lines on the south of equator. So 90 plus 90 is 180, and if we consider equator as well, then there will be a total of 181 latitudes on the surface of Earth. 181. Now, some people consider the line on the pole, exactly on the pole. They say that it's not a circle or line, but it's just a point. As we have seen in this diagram, that some people consider this point as not as a circle but just as a point. So if at all we consider it as a point, then we can subtract 2 from 181. So we can say that now when we consider North Pole and South Pole as just points, then the number of latitudes will be 179. Right. Now what is the significance of latitude? What is the importance of latitude? First significance of latitudes are, we can divide through latitudes our Earth into heat zones. Into heat zones. Right? This is the first significance. Let's understand how we can, through latitudes, how we can divide the Earth into heat zones. We all know that the most amount of insolation, I hope you understand insolation, and those students, those aspirants who don't understand insolation, insolation is an acronym, not an acronym, but just a short form of incoming solar radiation. Right? As we all know that most amount of insolation is received over this part of the Earth. Now, as compared to this zone of red, slightly lesser amount of insolation is received on the green part. And then last is the least amount of insolation is received over this part. Right? Now, this part which I have drawn with red color is called as torrid zone. This part is called as temperate. And this part over here is called as frigid. So the torrid zone, before that, I must tell you, this classification of heat zones, this division of heat zones was done by a Greek philosopher named as Aristotle. Very famous philosopher, Greek philosopher Aristotle. So he divided this Earth into three heat zones, namely torrid, temperate, and frigid zones. Torrid is the zone with highest amount of insolation received. Frigid being the least amount of insolation receiving zone, least, and temperate, moderate amount of insolation between torrid and frigid, right? So this is the very first significance of the latitudes. This is the first significance of latitudes. Now we can also say that direction of winds are also dependent on latitudes and longitudes. My bad, are also dependent on latitudes. The second significance of latitude is direction of winds, and most of the weather phenomenon is dependent on latitudes. Okay? So third point, we can say that most of weather phenomenon is based on latitudes. Now fourth is location. Fourth importance of latitude is location. From equator to north and south. So we have seen four significance of latitudes. First is dividing Earth into heat zones. Greek philosopher Aristotle divided Earth into three heat zones, namely torrid, temperate, and frigid zones. The second significance of latitude is direction of winds. Third being most of the weather phenomenon are dependent on latitudes. And then last, location. From equator to north and south pole, if you want to locate anything from equator towards north or south pole, then latitudes comes in play, right? Now moving on to the meridians of longitude. Meridians of longitude. Now if we look at the top view of Earth and say this is center, right? This is the top view, right? Top view of Earth. You are looking the Earth from top, and this is the cross sectional, and this is center of Earth. We have, let's just say we have cut our Earth into two halves, and this is one of the hemispheres. So what you will see, this is the center, and if we take a line as 0 degree, then the total number of lines which can be drawn around the circle will be, total number will be 360 lines, because the number of degrees is 360, and each degree has one line, then 1 degree line, 2 degree line, 3 degree line, and so on. If we draw all the lines over each and every degrees, then there will be total number of 360 lines. These lines, if we look from the front, it will look like the reference lines joining the north and south pole will be called as meridians of longitude. It will look something like this. The set of imaginary lines joining the north and south poles are called as meridians of longitude. And what is the number of meridians of longitude? It is 360 lines. Now what is the significance of longitudes? First significance is location. From where? From the reference, and this 0 degree is called as Greenwich Mean Time. This 0 degree line, reference line, divide our earth into two parts, the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere, right? In latitude, the reference line, which was equator, divided earth into two equal halves, namely northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere. Same is the case over here. Is these are longitudes, and the reference line of longitude divides earth into two equal hemispheres, which are known as the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere, right? Now if we want to know the location of any object towards the east or west from the reference line, or which is also known as GMT, or also called as prime meridian. So first significance is location towards east or west from 0 degree, GMT or prime meridian, right? Second significance is we can divide the time zones with the help of longitudes only. These are the two significance of longitudes. First is the location and second is the time zones and dates. We can divide time zones and dates through longitudes. Clear? We know that when half of the earth has day, the other half has the night. See, we can deduce that at the very same moment will be some places on earth which are seeing the sunrise, there are some places which are seeing the sunsets, there are some places there will be midnight at some places on the earth, and through this we can reduce that each and every location on earth will be having different times at the same moment, right? So through these longitudes we can differentiate between the time zones on the earth. We will see how. Now we know that it takes 24 hours for the earth to complete one complete rotation. Right? So one complete rotation consists of 360 degrees. We can say 360-degree complete rotation in 24 hours. Then how much degree will it rotate in 1 hour? So what we will do, we can say x is equal to 360 by 24. So x will be 15 degrees in 1 hour. So that we have calculated x is equal to 15 degree per hour. So that means our calculation shows that earth moves 15 degree in an hour. If a place located at, let us say, suppose this 0 degree longitude, if this place is witnessing sunrise, then a place 15 degrees west to it will witness sunrise after 1 hour. This is the significance of longitude, right? Now, in case of dates, the line, if this is 0 degree meridian, north to south, 0 degree, then the semicircle, because all the longitudes are semicircles, right? All the longitudes are semicircles. You can look at it at like this. These are semicircles. There are total 360 lines which are semicircles. So if this is 0 degree line, then the line diametrically opposite to it will be a line of 180 degree. This is called as international date line, because this is called as international date line. The line which is diametrically opposite to the prime meridian 0 degree line, which will be 180 degree longitude, is considered as international date line. Why is it considered as international date line? Because it is an internationally accepted standard line for calendar dates, right? There is nothing like going back to past, but yes, you have to adjust dates according to the this international date line. If you move from uh, let us say, if you move from eastward to westward, suppose you are going from Japan to North America, so you will lose 1 day, and if you are going from America to Japan, then you will gain 1 day, right? And international date line passes uh, between Russia and America, and it has been adjusted for some islands, but the international date line passes through most of the Pacific Ocean, right? That was all about latitudes and longitudes. Now let's move on to our next topic. Now we know that apart from latitudes and longitudes, there are many more imaginary lines on the earth. So we are going to now look the Tropic of Cancer, the Tropic of Capricorn, the Equator, Arctic Circle, Antarctic Circle, and the North Pole and South Pole. I'll make a diagram for it. This is the circumference of a sphere, which is also known as the equator. Reference line of latitude. Now at 23.5 degree north lies our, this is Tropic of Cancer. Now, as I told you before, this 23.5 degree placement of Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn is directly related to the tilt of Earth. This is 23.5 degrees south, and this is Tropic of Capricorn. And at 66.5 degrees south and 66.5 degrees north, this is Arctic Circle, this is Antarctic Circle. Right, and this is equator. Now, why are these Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn placed where they are at 23.5 degrees north and south? Because sun, the direct rays of sun falls between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, and the area of Earth above and below the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn respectively does not receive insolation perpendicular any time of the year, right? So the sun moves from this line to this line. The direct rays of sun are received on Earth from this point to this point, right? Just because the tilt of Earth at 23.5 degrees angle from the perpendicular to that orbital plane, right? So I will write it down. These are the lines which demarcates the northward and southward limit of the movement of sun, or the sun's rays fall perpendicular between the area covered under Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Means the sun will never be right overhead above this Tropic of Cancer in north and below Tropic of Capricorn in south. Having understood Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, let's see what Arctic and Antarctic Circle is. So for that, we will draw a figure of Earth right over here. I'll try to explain, but this diagram demands a bit of perfection, but I'll still try to make as perfect as possible. This is the North Pole and this is the South Pole. Now this portion of Earth is lit on the bright side. This portion, let's say this portion is the day portion, and this will be the Arctic Circle, and this will be the Antarctic Circle. Near correct diagram, not very perfect, but still we can. So as we can see from this diagram, this is Arctic Circle placed at 66.5 degrees north, and this is Antarctic Circle which is placed at 66.5 degrees south. Now why this line has been placed so? Because during northern summers this portion will be having 6 months of day, and this portion during the same time will be having 6 months of night. That means the region beyond the Arctic Circle will have 6 months of day during northern summers, and at the same time the Antarctic Circle, the area on and beyond Antarctic Circle will be having 6 months of night. The sun never rises in these 6 months, and in the Arctic Circle the sun never sets during the northern summers, right? So this is why the Arctic and Antarctic Circle are placed, because the region beyond Arctic Circle faces 6 months of days during northern summers, and at the same time Antarctic Circle sees 6 months of continuous nights during northern summers, and vice versa in northern winters, right? So we have learned about equator, we have seen what is Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, and then we have also seen what is Arctic Circle and what is Antarctic Circle. Now I am going to explain, or I am going to deal with the prime meridian or the Greenwich Mean Time and the international dateline. Although I have explained these two things before, but in short, in brief, I will explain it again. See, what is Greenwich Mean Time? So, the reference line of longitude, this is United Kingdom, this is London. A place called Greenwich Royal Laboratories is placed at Greenwich, nearby London, United Kingdom. Right? So this 0 degree longitude line, which is reference line, passes through Royal Laboratories in Greenwich, nearby London, in United Kingdom, which is a reference line, and it is called as Greenwich Mean Time. Or prime meridian. Now, how do countries calculate their time zones, right? Let's take the example of Indian Standard Time. The Indian Standard Time longitude passes over 82.5 degree east longitude. This line passes through Mirzapur in UP, or a place near Prayagraj called as Naini, also in UP. So this is the place where this Indian Standard Time line passes through. Now, how do we calculate time? As we know that our Earth rotates 15 degrees in an hour. So every 15 degrees, there will be an increase of 1 hour in the time, right? What is the, if we move 15 degrees eastward, so we gain 1 hour. We lose 1 hour, and if we move 15 degree west, we gain 1 hour. That's all for today. We will be meeting in next video very soon. Till then, I am Abhinav Sharma signing off. Peace out.